the Baltimore Ravens. And it comes your way next on Madden Football.
The rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Welcome again, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
They left in the middle of a cold night in 1984, but the Colts are back, and we're underway in Baltimore. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
And he remains the league's premier rushing threat and one of the biggest playmakers among quarterbacks. His goal each and every season, continue to expand his game as a passer and become well-rounded. All those highlight reel plays you see, they come off the fact that he can run it, throw it, and scares defenses every time he takes a snap.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Jackson, first play, going to throw. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 11 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
What a start here to the ball game. You get the good kick return, followed by a quick first down through the air. If this defense isn't careful, they might be looking at a deficit before they know what hit them.
Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
2nd down and 4. Flowers going to go in motion right. Play action. Now Jackson. This will go to Henry out wide. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
That's complete. It's Zay Flowers with it. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 32-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. A first down carry for Henry. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. It was Kwity Paye who made the stop coming off the edge. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out. And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defenders' minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. And that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
Now Jackson. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game.
I'm about to say something that seems really obvious, but you hate to see your kicker miss on the opening drive because now you're starting to wonder what goes through his head. Is that going to affect him the rest of the game? Is he going to be able to bounce back? You want to show confidence later? What's going to go on with him right out of the gate with a miss?
Yeah, a chance to grab the 3-0 lead here at home. Instead, we remain scoreless. After the missed kick, they're in really good position. They'll begin this drive at the 39 now. Richardson looking to throw this. Finds his big tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
From the 48-yard line, here's second down and 1. Richardson off the play fake. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
Henry up the middle, trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw is Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Here's Jackson to throw. This throw taken in by Isaiah Likely. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
In motion left goes a tight end. A shotgun handoff to Henry. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 9. They go play action with Jackson. And his pass incomplete. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Jackson. That is caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, 32 yards. And the Ravens use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And we'll see if this rain affects the team's decisions going forward, but they kick it here, and it's good. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it was capped by the touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. They had the fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10.
They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. Richardson. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards for number 11.
And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd and 5. On the option to give to Taylor here.
They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Richardson shotgun on 3rd down.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
Richardson looking to throw.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
I'm actually looking at this play with defensive eyes here, partner, because they were still laser focused on him after his earlier exploits on this drive. I think they went back to the well just a little bit too soon. He got across the line of scrimmage, but they certainly weren't giving up much more than that.
They go play action with Richardson.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Taylor. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson.
Forced out to his left. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down.
Kudos for the defense from me on that one because they were prepared the whole way for him to try to escape and hit them for more yardage running it. I like the way they stayed zeroed in on him and kept him contained when he pulled the ball down. I think he was fortunate to get what he did on that run.
Richardson now on 3rd and goal.
Steps away to his left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Anthony Richardson
taking it in from 2 yards out.
And the Colts are an extra point away from evening this one up.
They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field.
So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now. But this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Here's Jackson.
That's complete to his receiver, Bateman.
He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Inside handoff, Henry. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. In motion, Aguilar.
They keep it with Henry on first down. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
It may be only a gain of 3 yards, but that back, he deserves a lot more credit on the play. That could have easily been stopped at the line, but his vision and his determination found some space to turn it into that modest gain.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
On third down, he obviously wants to throw the football, but there's nowhere to go with it, so he takes off and goes. And now as he gets to the first down marker, he blows right past it and picks up big yardage. Partner, that's a great bit of improvisation.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now it's Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
Jackson now. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Already he's top 50 receiving yards in this first quarter. And he's got a first down. Back to the ground now. It's Henry. A strong running. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Now 2nd and 3.
Jackson. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21.
Dayo Odeyingbo
just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. Jackson from the shotgun. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
I have a few questions about that throw because to me there just wasn't a lot there. I thought he tried to do a little bit too much, almost tried to will a receiver open when there was no chance he was going to be. Nice job by the linebacker being all over that one and knocking it away.
Tucker's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for...
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Running from the gun with Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
2nd down, they go again with Henry. And he was able to shed 1 tackle but could not get away from there.
A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
Throwing is Jackson. And that is incomplete. Kenny Moore that time there on the coverage.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This from 54 yards away. And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Lets one go downfield for Pierce.
And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Not a great start dropping his first target, but let's face it, it won't be his last chance because he'll get opportunities to make up for that one throughout this game.
Now a 2nd and 10. Now it's Richardson.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Colts in possession as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
On 4th down, the Colts will call on Rigoberto Sanchez for the punt.
Back deep is Steven Sims.
And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. The slot man in motion right. Here's Jackson throwing to start the drive. Completes it to Aguilar. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
From the 41, Jackson. Throw caught by Flowers. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
In motion goes the tight end. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. A short throw caught by Andrews.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a 1st down.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that 1st down run.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Now Jackson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
That play call wasn't there for them against that coverage. So they're going to spin the dial now in their playbook and come up with one more shot at the marker to try and keep this series going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down at a 21-yard gain.
Well, we've seen Jackson already have success in the 1st half running the football, and he gets good yardage on the ground again there. I mean, I know it's a $64,000 question, CD, but how do they contain him better?
You have to win against the blockers ahead of you. If those guys even occupy a defender for even a half a second, then Lamar Jackson is gone. You've got to take those blockers and move them so that you have clear vision of Lamar Jackson, and hopefully you can hem him in.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
This defense, so many things to worry about in the red zone area, but you'd have to almost think that Lamar Jackson running the football, that might be number 1.
It should be number 1. And in this portion of the field where things shrink a little bit because the receivers can't run past anyone because they'll run out of real estate, You should have all eyes on Lamar Jackson when the ball is snapped and try and keep him back in the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that they were surprised he was running it there. They just couldn't stop him, and he ends up in the end zone.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead now stands at 13. So that drive in total 8 plays.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he takes it all the way across the 40 before going out of bounds. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And they'll run the option to start the drive.
And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Here's Richardson to throw.
To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
The Colts on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Back to Taylor on first down. Down to the 42, second down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Second down at 6 now from the 42. Richardson looking to throw this.
Being chased out left. 20! And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Bottom line is that he is just something else as a runner because there are not many QBs in this league who can rip off a game that big, and he did it with the defense giving him a little extra attention after he hit him on a run earlier this series.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Richardson out of the shotgun.
That's good play. Now the ball comes loose, and the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all.
That's on the tackle, Braden Smith.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold.
Richardson working from the gun.
To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
play to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive.
Now Richardson back to throw it. Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Mo Alley-Cox. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Looking for Pearson. He's got him. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Colts' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Gay is on for the point after. And it's good. The deficit 6, 20-14. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all.
And it was capped off by a touchdown catch from Alec Pierce. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
They go play action with Jackson. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
Dayo Odeyingbo. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. To throw is Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Able to convert on 3rd and 14, a terrific play call.
But the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down, that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 9.
Here's Jackson to throw.
Complete to Likely.
Only able to gain a couple there. 3rd and 7 now.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd.
Jackson. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. The deep to return is Josh Downs.
And this will do the job nicely, as that'll be out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line.
The Colts offense and Anthony Richardson ready for this next possession. And this defense has got to be searching for answers right now. It's been his ability to make plays on the ground here in this first half that's really giving him fits. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
To the right side, this is Taylor.
And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Here's 2nd and 3. Richardson to throw off play action.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
Richardson looking to throw.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
2nd and 10. Richardson.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot, and the deficit will stay at 2 field goals.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson set to take over once again. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. That one into the hands of Flowers.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. Aguilar in motion left. Here's Jackson. The short throw caught by Andrews. And Andrews going to have a Ravens first down as he'll be taken down at the 46. Give him 2 on the play there. And it's good enough for a Baltimore first down.
Off the option, here's Henry. He's got it to the 43 here.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Aguilar in motion left.
Now they'll fake the jet sweep and run up the middle with Henry.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. And this offense on 3rd down today, 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Play action. Now Jackson.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A big play that time on the catch and run. 32 yards.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. They'll try the right side with Henry. And he'll get about 4 there as he takes it from the 10 down to the 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
2nd down and 6 now.
They'll run it again with Henry. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Derrick Henry, a 6-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to extend their lead. Tucker now for the extra point. And the lead is now 13. So that drives 7 plays in length. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Yeah, get a little closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
A short throw. This is caught by Cox. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now Richardson.
And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
That's a tough spot for a running back coming out of the backfield because you know he's got to look for the football, knowing full well he's got a man coming his way, full steam, and he broke that one up.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted.
And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession.
And now they start in plus territory following that turnover as they'll try to get some points here before halftime.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
In motion, Aguilar.
After the interception, here's Jackson.
He finds Bateman over the middle.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now it's Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
Good call there on 1st down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
This 2nd and 4.
Jackson now. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Jackson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Nelson Aguilar with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Ravens will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And it was capped by the touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Colts about to go on offense one final time in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
They'll set up the screen to Taylor.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Now it's Richardson. Connecting over the middle with Downs.
Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Now a 2nd and 2. Back to throw. Here's Richardson.
A short throw. This is caught by Cox. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
A final shot before the half. Richardson. He'll let one go deep for Downs.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
The Ravens were led in that first half by who else? The former MVP, Lamar Jackson. He threw 2 touchdown passes, ran for another, as his guys have the lead at halftime.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Indianapolis offense ready to go again. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Richardson looking to throw this.
And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Richardson shotgun on 3rd down.
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes.
Sacked on the corner blitz by Marlon Humphrey.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line.
The Ravens offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession.
Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
In motion, Aguilar.
They'll start out here with a jet sweep.
What a great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line.
He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
The defensive coordinators love that. You got a cornerback willing to stick his nose in there, come up on run support, and stop that pop pass dead in its tracks.
And, partner, one good thing about trying to defend that play, you should see it coming the whole way. You see the receiver coming in motion in your direction. Nice job eluding the blocker, making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but an even better job studying the play before you have to try and defend it in a game.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Now it's Jackson.
That is caught.
He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven 1st down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Jackson going to keep it running right.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the keeper, and it'll lead to a 2nd down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Jackson to Bateman there, 1st down Ravens.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
In motion, Aguilar. And he'll get it here on the touch pass.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now Jackson. Buying time to his left. Jackson hit, and he lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
Throwing is Jackson. This complete left side to Aguilar. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
And I'll tell you what, this offense is playing a little bit of keep away right now. They've come out here in the 3rd quarter, possessed the ball for quite a while, and they keep on converting. Nice pitch and catch there to set up the 1st and goal.
In motion, Aguilar. And they'll get it forward to him on the touch pass.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Here's Jackson to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
A chance to really put this game out of reach. Here's 3rd and goal.
To throw again is Jackson. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Okay, can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, It has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll start by running the option to the right and trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
Well, he's had success running the football in this one. Yeah, that's undeniable, but that time the defense was on to it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
Dancing to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
That is the big fella, Nnamdi Madubuike, forcing his way in. He comes up with a sack.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here's Richardson to throw.
And that will be incomplete. The former first-round pick, Marlon Humphrey, there to get a hand on it.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field.
And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. To throw is Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it'll be second down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Jackson.
Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete.
It'll be a gain of 5. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
From the gun on 3rd down. Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will extend their lead even further.
So this one, Charles, it's only the 3rd quarter, but they appear to be well on their way to victory.
I would say so, because a 1-score lead you don't even count, but a 2-score lead you know it can evaporate in an instant. 3 scores, feeling good, but you know it's not over yet. But now they've got a 4-score cushion. I think you can feel pretty confident in the fact this is going to go your way.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
And the Colts getting ready to go.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
Odafe Owe so quick, and he gets to him there behind the line. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
3rd down and 6. Now Richardson back to throw it.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
And you can tell just by looking at him that this offense is a frustrated unit. Things are really unraveling here, and as a head coach, time to earn your paycheck. You've got to find a way to keep it together as that brings up another 4th down.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line.
The home team's offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been totally taken apart, and that is borne out in his numbers. He's been terrific all game long.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
In motion left, Bateman.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson.
That's complete, left side to Bateman.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. And that'll bring up 4th down on a big sack with a loss of 5.
At that time, finally a measure of revenge as they get him down behind the line.
It almost felt like relief, didn't it? Because with the success he's had throughout this game, you'd almost expect him to get free and pick up 10 to 15 every time he takes off. Not in that case. That has to feel good for the defense.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And you're at the point here, third quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity. But think of the pressure you just put on your offensive line, because if you're a pass rusher, you're not even thinking about them running the football. All you're doing is getting into that sprinter stance and going after the quarterback.
So not his arm, but hurting him with his legs. A gain of 19 on the keeper and a first down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
It looked like almost a miscommunication defensively, because once he decided to keep it, he had pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah, it became a question of, wait a minute, who's got the quarterback? And when you talk about miscommunication, it's supposed to be called assignment football on the defensive side of the ball. But the assignment gets mixed up. That's the end result.
And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard. That deficit probably a little too much to overcome. But completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And now you have to wonder, partner, at what point in time do they forget the running game? It's been a struggle so far in this one. I would think they'd have to start throwing it a little bit more.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And once again, they stop him behind the line. Great job by this Ravens defense. A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. Gay's kick is good, and that'll put us within 3 scores as it becomes now a 23-point game. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Ravens offense back out there. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27.
He'll start with a give to Henry. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 9.
Here's Jackson.
Throw caught by Flowers.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So the completion good for just 3. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Now it's Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on here to punt it away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line.
The Colts offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense has got to be at its wits' end, trying to come up with ways to keep him contained. He's had so many opportunities to tuck it and go, and he's turned a number of those opportunities into big plays.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Again, it's Taylor.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner, because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
Alec Pierce.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Colts are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd.
Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
Shane Steichen, aggressive as a play caller. He's going to go for 2 here. They'll let Taylor try and run.
And he's going to get into the end zone for 2. And they're back within 2 scores. Down 15 now. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure. But that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready. Because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
Throwing to start the drive. Jackson.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
We're in Baltimore. Third quarter action. 2nd and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes. Dayo Odeyingbo able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket. Because you mentioned the feast or famine part, he's played well in between being dumped on his back. But every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They're going to look to throw. It's caught by Aguilar. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll come on to kick this one away. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Colts getting another possession here on offense. Well, still a long way to go, but trending upward. They scored the last time out, you remember. Then their defense forced the punt. Now they try to inch closer, but still ultimately down 2 scores in the final quarter. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10. They'll start with the option. And they regroup defensively after the broken tackle, getting to him just beyond the 45. Give him 4 yards there on the 1st down keeper.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
Well, that one was all about the defender making life difficult for the receiver. Very tough for a guy to hold on to the football through all that contact. He ends up forcing the incompletion.
Richardson looking to throw. Oh, he's intercepted again. It's Richardson's 3rd of the game. And the Ravens are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at about the 32. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That one into the hands of Flowers. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
And he'll be brought down by the Colts. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They go play action now. Jackson. And he's going to go down again. It's a loss of a yard, so they'll wind up crediting him with a sack, and it brings up third down.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Now back to throw. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a first as he's tackled at the 47. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Partner, even I can figure out who deserves the lion's share of credit for their lead right now because he has been terrific in a dual threat role, really chewing up yardage and getting them points with his legs. Simply put, that defense has had no way of stopping him, and that's why his side is on top.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
Indy offense ready to go once again, and we'll get another look at Alec Pierce.
When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's seeing the payoff. You know, getting the ball to that guy means yardage, and as we've seen, touchdowns in this game. So I think both of them get more and more excited about the possibilities as things continue on.
Yeah, so far it's been over 100 yards and the 2 scores. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Now this taken in by Downs.
That one a first down pickup of 8. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Off play action, Richardson. Pass complete downfield, it's Pierce.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
Richardson working from the gun. Connecting over the middle with Downs.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
3rd and 3. Back to the air with Richardson. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
They'll look to run with Taylor.
And he gets halfway there from the 4 to the 2 on a gain of 2.
Well, sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, second half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
Man, not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal.
Here's Taylor again. Pushing for the end zone, but he's not going to get there. They stop him just shy of the goal line.
This defense not budging, back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
I know this is your spot, partner, so forgive me for jumping in, but there's no decision right here. They have to go for it in this situation. They're down on the scoreboard. How many other opportunities are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm with you. Fourth quarter, like you said, down on the scoreboard. And remember here, a field goal virtually does them no good. And Gay knocks this one through. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So they're content to take the 3. Somewhat of a conservative call there, opting not to go for it on 4th and inches.
And that's from a team that you and I know is not usually playing it close to the vest. It's a little bit of a surprise that they opted for the 3 instead of going for it.
After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And what a tough spot for this defense because they know it's coming, but they're just powerless to stop it. What a great run there to start the drive. And you can bet there'll be more where that came from as they try to ice this game away.
Now Jackson.
He'll get this to Flowers, left side.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
A short one there, caught by Likely.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up second down.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
They'll work from the 36 on 2nd and 6.
Here's Jackson to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Flowers. 83 yards receiving now for him on the afternoon as he's got a first down here. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Again, Jackson.
A short one there, caught by Likely.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Second down and 3.
Throwing is Jackson.
That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. And Jackson to Bateman there for the Baltimore first.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. He finds his man, complete. It's Flowers. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Jackson now. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
I thought maybe when he caught, he'd have a good chance of getting that first down, but that's a nice job of holding him up and preventing him from getting to the sticks.
So the snap will come from the 3, but remember, they don't need the touchdown. They can get the first down if they get a yard, and the ball gets to the 2. They'll run. It's Henry. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that, but by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll bring a tight end in motion.
Henry will score. Touchdown, Baltimore.
You think back to some of the great goal line bruisers of the past, the Earl Campbells, the John Riggins, the Marshawn Lynches. I think you can put Derrick Henry right in that group as he scores there with another patented Derrick Henry run.
Tucker now to add the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that one a long 11-play drive. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
The Colts offensive unit ready to see what they can do here.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
These are running back numbers that he's accumulating right now. Received double-digit carries and has rewarded them by breaking the century mark in rushing, in addition to what he's done through the air. Definitely MVP caliber football we're witnessing.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. Here's Richardson to throw. He'll check this one down to Taylor.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson.
And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
4th down, desperation time. Here's Richardson.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
It hasn't been the cleanest game for him, but there was a sign of improvement as he looks towards the next one. Nice bit of scrambling to move the sticks, and even more importantly, he didn't risk adding another interception to his ledger.
A short throw. This is caught by Cox. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad. It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Now it's Richardson.
That is caught. Michael Pittman with it. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Now Richardson back to throw it.
Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
Richardson.
He's got it. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
Richardson looking to throw this.
And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown.
Anthony Richardson
punching it in from a yard away.
And the Colts have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
The Ravens ready to take over.
And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down.
Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1.
Jackson, option right. And he has the Ravens first down, and it would appear that that's going to be the one to do it.
The Ravens taking a knee with victory seemingly in hand here. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
Listen, anytime you take a knee to end a game, that means you've won it. So it doesn't matter whether it's home or on the road, but there's something a little extra special about doing it in front of your home crowd, isn't there?
And the home crowd applauding. They're happy with what they've seen. Chalk this one up in the left-hand column for a win.
Yeah, that's right. Head to the locker room, throw the wristbands in the crowd for the kids, your gloves, your towels. Get to share it with the home team.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but, boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And, partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.